Okay. So again, we're going to review the structure of the atom. We're going to review finding protons, neutrons, electrons, valence electrons, and charge. Okay, so here's a couple of examples. Okay, a lot of it is the same thing we did on Thursday, but just a tiny little twist. Okay, so make sure you have your periodic tables out too, so you can refer to them. Okay, here we go. Okay, so take a moment to copy this down real quick. Okay, so if we're given an element like fluorine here in example 1, we can put it in this form, X, A, Z. So these letters just mean different things. Okay, the X is the element symbol. Okay, the Z is the atomic number, and the A is the mass number. Okay, when we did this on Thursday, you guys used the average atomic mass and you rounded it to the nearest whole number, right? When you do that, you come up with the mass number. Okay, so let's put fluorine into this form, XAZ. All right, so first the X. What's the element symbol for fluorine? F. Okay. Okay, you got the X done. What is the atomic number of fluorine? 9. So that's the Z part. You put the 9 there on the bottom. What's the A part? When you round it, it's 19. That's the mass number. Okay? Sometimes when we deal with different isotopes, that means they have more or less neutrons. That mass number might be more or less. Okay? But the atomic number never changes. But the mass number might. Okay, so you're done with that. Okay, this is in that form, X, A, Z. Okay, so if you're using your periodic table, you can put any element into this form. Okay, let's do the next one, sulfur. What's the X? What's the X represent? It's the element symbol, S. So, there you go. The Z, what's 16? Is that the atomic number? Okay. And then the mass number, 32. You round it, you get 32. There you go. You're done with that. So in the homework, you're going to be asked to put it in this form. And or if they just give you a Z, they're giving you the atomic number, so you'll be able to look that number up on the periodic table and find the element. Okay, so you need to be familiar with this form. All right, let's go do the first example of what we were doing on Thursday. So next. Okay, so given this element, let's find protons, neutrons, electrons, charge, and actually valence electrons. Forgot about valence electrons. Okay, so how many protons do we have in boron there? 5. Right, it's the same as the atomic number. Okay, how many electrons do we have? 5. Okay, if there's no charge here on the upper right hand corner, then the protons and the electrons should be the same because it's neutral. How many neutrons do we have? 6. You subtract the 5 from the 11, and that gives you the neutrons, 6. So what's our charge? 0, because this is like 5 positive charges and 5 negative charges. They add up to 0. Yeah, so to find the neutrons, you subtract the 5 from the 11. And then valence electrons. Valence electrons is what? 3. You count the columns, right? 3. So just remember, you have to skip the transition metals, the lower block, and then there should be eight columns. So it's in column 3. It has 3 valence electrons. Okay, we're done with that one. Let's try another one. Okay, so this is gallium. Let me put in the valence electrons. All right, how many protons? 31. How many electrons? 31. Neutrons? 39. When you subtract, you get 39. And charge? 0. So it's like positive 31 and negative 31. They add up to 0, right? Okay. And valence electrons? 3. It's in column 3, right? Whoops. 3 valence electrons. Okay. Let's try our next example. All right, so now we have an ion here, aluminum. Let me put in the valence electrons. Okay, so how many protons? 13. How many electrons? 10. Yes, 10, that's right. Again, if you put charges on this, maybe it helps you. You have 13 positive charges. If you only have 10 negative charges, you're going to have a charge of +3, right? Okay. And then neutrons? 14. Okay, charge? Okay. Charge is 3. And then valence electrons? 3. It's in the 3rd column. Okay. Let me erase these little charges here just because it doesn't look quite right. There. And let's try, I think, one more. All right, let's do our last one here. Okay, so for oxide, how many protons do we have? 8. Okay. Neutrons? 8. You subtract, right? Okay, electrons? 10. Okay, if you're not sure, again, put your little charges here and double check it. You add these two together, you're going to have a -2, right? -2. So that has to be 10. All right, let me erase the charges now. And charge? -2. And then valence electrons. Okay. And valence electrons is 6. Okay, so we're done. This is how you can find protons, neutrons, electrons, valence electrons. So you guys always have to have your periodic table in front of you. That's the catch. Okay? Unless it's given to you in this form already, then you don't need the periodic table. Okay?